The countdown to November 8th, 2025 is on the way, and the political drum beats are louder than ever. We journey into the heart of the unfolding story that will shape the future of Anambra State. First, the people's voice is secured as the Independent National Electoral Commission has cleared a staggering 2.8 million voters, each armed with the power of the ballot, each ready to decide the destiny of Anambra State. And then the stage is set as political parties have unveiled their champions, banners raised high, campaigns blazing, promises flying across town squares, market squares, and even airwaves. But it's not just the politicians in the arena. The civil societies are also evident in the arena as they are on the march too, stepping into actions, mobilizing observers, building trust, and vowing to watch every vote, every count, and every result. Yet in this digital age, danger lurks around the corner. Disinformation spreads like wildfire, twisting truths, fueling doubts. The fight to protect fact is actually on as INEC and watchdogs side by side juxtaposingly battle to keep the people's will untampered. And finally, we have whispers and denials and politics of rumor. Former Governor Willie Obiano breaks his silence, denying the swelling claims of endorsements, reminding us that in this election, even silence is loud. Anambra stands at the crossroads as the stakes are high, the players are ready, and the people will hold their final word. Join us shortly. I'm Odiawa AI, and this is Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue.
Not only will he win, but Indian Anambra will speak with one voice, and the victory will be crushing this time. Very crushing. Let us remember that we do not campaign only for a governor, but for a vision he has so crafted, a livable and prosperous Anambra, a state of peace, of job, of schools, of hospitals, of dignity for our youth, and pride for our elders. This is what this campaign is about.
So, Mr. Governor, I have the singular honor and responsibility, Mr. Governor, to call on you, Oluwatoegu, to inaugurate the 2025 Anambra Governorship Election Campaign Council.
Okokoroko, the Anambra, if I be a very simple task. This is a campaign council made up of very carefully chosen 489 members. I want to thank all of you, appreciate you for accepting to serve in this capacity.
You're welcome back to the show. That was Governor Soludo, who recently inaugurated the Governorship Election Campaign Council 489. Now, that's not just a number, but an army of the people of Anambra commissioned by Governor Soludo to carry out the 2025 campaign into every ward, into every street, and into every nook and cranny of Anambra State. Now, on to figures again. 2.8 million voters. Now, this is the final voter register as declared by INEC on the 4th of September 2025. More than just digits on a page, more than ink on paper, this is the soul of democracy counted, catalogued, and prepared for the Battle of November 8th. But here's the opinion that must not just be ignored. Numbers are powerful, quite all right, but numbers can also be deceptive. We have seen it before, millions registered, but how many will actually show up or turn up? How many will brave the scorching sun, the long queues, and the whispers of intimidation to press their thumbprints on the ballots? The register is a promise, but the turnout, that will be the moment of truth if we will agree. Now let's look closer. Idemili North, standing tall with 246,318 registered voters. The question is again, will this massive block become the kingmaker of the election, or will they, like sleeping giants, lie dormant, allowing other regions to decide? We have also Awka South with 216,611 voters. They sit as the political heartbeat of Anambra State, home to power, influence, and the machinery of government. And then we have Ogbaru with 118,016 voters, duly registered, a region often underestimated but always critical when the dust settles after the elections. These are not just statistics, they are battlegrounds. They are the chessboards on which every candidate must actually move. If you want to actually win Anambra State, you do not just shout slogans. You must win confidence of the Idemili North, you must resonate with Awka South, and you must never ever also ignore Baru as disclosed by the Anambrians. However, let us not forget 140,370 newly registered voters. This is not just a small number, they are fresh voices, mostly of the young cadre, restless and hungry for change. Now, added to that, we have 5,983 transfer application citizens who refuse to be silenced by geography, actually stated as one of the sayings, I will actually vote where I live, where I struggle, and where I belong. Now, these are the core indigents of Anambra State. Now, this tells us one thing. Anambra's democracy is not actually stagnant. It is apparently alive, moving, and evolving simultaneously. But the real test lies with INEC's promise. They have assured that every permanent voter's card, every old one, every new one, and every transferred voter card will be ready before election day. If they stick to this promise, trust will definitely grow. If they fail, suspicion will actually fester and democracy will begin to bleed. So here's my take. In my own opinion, 2.8 million is not just a voter register. It's a contract between the people and the ballot box. A contract that must not be broken because come November 8th, when the drumbeats and the polling units open, every number on the voter register will actually become a voice. Anambra, the future is written in numbers, actually 2.8 million as evidently registered by INEC. We actually see how ready the register will be. But will the people also be readily, politically speaking? Moving on, the massacre of as 16 political parties have stepped forward, their candidates named, their banners unveiled, and their voices echoing across the light of the nation. The electoral umpire INEC has actually spoken. Let the games begin, if I may say. Now, campaigns officially opened June 11, 2025, and by laws as stipulated in the Electoral Act, they must close at the stroke of midnight on November 6. But let us be clear, this is not just a campaign season. This is a contest for the soul of Anambra. Now, here's where it gets interesting. For the first time in our political history, no one but two political parties, the African Action Congress and the National Rescue Movement, have dared to put forward female gubernatorial candidates in a male chauvinistic arena. Now, yes, women are the very front lines of the battle, the electoral battle to be precise. And if you think it's a mere footnote, then you underestimate the silent revolution brewing in the homes, the markets, and even the schools. Women are no longer content to serve as clapperboards on the sidelines. They are stepping onto the scene to fight for the highest seats within the land. And it not just stops there. 6 other political parties, including the mighty Labour Party and the ever-calculative APC, the Accord Party, the APP, the Boots Party, and the Zenith Labour Party, have also placed women as deputy gubernatorial candidates. This is quite symbolic, or probably might we say strategic, like APC. Absolutely, because it's today's politics. Representation is key. It's no longer a luxury. It has become a currency. But let us not deceive ourselves. Representation without power is decoration. Are there female candidates and deputies meant to be true voices of change? Or are they tokens of tick boxes and polished party images? This is uncomfortable, or rather I'll say this is an uncomfortable question, because in Anambra it is to move forward. Gender must not be strategy alone, it must also be substance. Now think of it, 16 candidates, each promising transformation. But the truth is this, campaigns are not only about promises, they're about endurance, they're about what will last the distance, the mileage, but who can speak to the people, not just with slogans, but with solutions. Between now and November 8th, the candidates will flood the airwaves, the streets, the markets, the town squares. They will shake hands. They will dance on podiums. They will likewise eat roasted corn on the roadside. If you get what I mean, frankly speaking, all in the name of connecting with the people. And how long the connection will last is food for thought. There's need to wine and dine about this. But here is this, in my own opinion. Connection is not performance. Connection is trust. And trust cannot be rented for a campaign season. It is earned over the years of credibility, honesty, and sacrifice. Watching carefully who speaks with sincerity, who who listens when the cameras are off, or who tracks the records of service, and who is just another mask in the carnival of politics? These are questions of the 2.8 million registered voters need to ask. So yes, the candidate list is out, 16 names, 2 women gunning for the #1 seat of Anambra State, 6 more standing as deputies, and on November 8th, Anambra will tell us not just who wins, but what kind of future it actually chooses. Join us shortly as we move away from battles on posters, rallies, and promises to other matters revolving around the Anambra elections. This is Viewpoint. I'm Adiawa AI. You're welcome back to the show. Now, in every election, there are 2 battles. First is fought with posters, like I said earlier, on rallies and promises. The second battle, which is actually fought, is much quieter, but far more important, is fought with trust. Who will watch the votes? Who will guard the people when the ballot boxes actually close and are forklifted for counting? And when the counting begins, when the whispers of the manipulations will actually creep in, who will be there to checkmate it? Now, this year in Anambra 2025, one name has stepped boldly into the second battlefield. Likewise, other civic societies. We're talking about Yaga Africa. On September 8, 2025, Yaga Africa launched its campaign not for power here, not for office, but for transparency. They gathered security agencies, the media, the civil society, and sat them down on a round table, the same table, and asked one question that matters. How do we make the election peaceful, credible, and also true? And they are not just stopping there or stopping with talking or walking. Their weapon is observation, their shield is technology, and their initiative, watching the votes. Now, 255 trained observers is another figure here, deployed across the states, armed with no guns, but with data. They are to a process of results verification for transparency system, the PRVT. Those statistical sampling and SMS-based reporting, they will track the pulse of election day in real time. Now, they will know if the result has been announced in Oka will actually match what really happened in Idemili. They will know if the numbers tally with Ugbaru or if they mysteriously inflate the results by the time they reach the collation center. Now, let's be frank here. In Nigeria's democracy, votes can be stolen in the dark, in silence, and in the shadows between polling units and announcements. Yaga Africa is saying, not this time. We will watch, record, and verify. But here's my own opinion. Yaga Africa cannot do it alone. 255 observers, yes. But Anambra has over 5,700 polling units. That means the real observers are actually the voters, you and I out there. The market woman who sees the ballot being snatched, the youth who notices figures are being altered, or the priest, the teacher, the driver, the students, just name it. Democracy only survives only if citizens refuse to look away. Civil society is not an outsider in politics. Civil society is the conscience of democracy. Yaga Africa is showing us what is possible. That is vigilance, innovation, and courage. But the question is, will the political actors respect the process? Will security agencies remain neutral? Will the media report facts, not propaganda? Let us be clear again. If transparency wins, Anambra wins. If credibility triumphs, every candidate, winner or loser alike, can walk away knowing the people truly spoke. But if trust collapses, chaos will follow, and no winner in chaos ever truly governs. Anambra, the watchdogs are actually ready, just to mention a few. The question is, will the people rise as the ultimate guardians of democracy? Now, on to rumors in Anambra's political arena. In politics, sometimes what is not said may make more noise than what is declared. Now, a few weeks back, the air in Anambra thickened with whispers. Rumors swirled through the streets of Anambra as former Governor Willie Obaino threw his weight behind a rival candidate. But Obaino spoke, and his message was sharp, simple, and public. I have not endorsed anyone. Now, here's the truth about politics. Endorsements are not just announcements. They are weapons. They can tilt the balance, sway the undecided blocks, and also ignite loyalty among followers, which is why a rumor of endorsements can be just as dangerous and powerful as the real thing. Now, let's ask a few questions here, rhetorically speaking. Why did this rumor spread? Who stood to gain from linking Obaino's name to a particular camp? Was it desperation? Was it strategy? Or was it the oldest trick in the northern political or in the Nigerian political playbook? They call it confusion. Now think of it. A former governor, once the custodian of that state's power, still commands influence, if we'll agree. His silence becomes a blank page where politicians and mischief makers alike can write their own stories. But Obaino's denial will actually matter here. It reminds us that in the campaign season, we must separate facts from fiction, truth from tactics. In my own opinion, this denial is not just about Obaino. It is about health of our democracy when rumors take center stage or occupy the marketplace. Real issues will actually vanish. Instead of debating infrastructure, jobs, security, education, we begin to argue over shadows and echoes. Rumors in politics actually are distractions, and distractions themselves steal time and focus. But we must also be wise here. Denials in politics can be genuine, and they can also be tactical. A politician may deny today only to reappear tomorrow with a handshake, a smile, and a nod of approval. Now, in this chess game, words can be shields as swords also, likewise. So the people must not only hear what was said, they must also watch what was done. And here lies the challenge. Citizens must refuse to be pawns in the rumor merchant's game. Because every time we forward an unverified story, every time we repeat hearsays without proof, we become foot soldiers of the army of confusion. Rumors may fly, denials may echo, but only the people's vote will actually stand. And come November 8th, it will not only be what Obaino said or what Obaino did not say, it will be about what the voters actually decided. That will be all on Viewpoints, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue regarding the Anambra updates come November 8, 2025. I've been your host, Odiawa AI.